Hello and welcome back to my channel. Pretty new channel. This is only my second video, and the whole point of this channel is for me to document my process of learning Unreal Engine because I'm really interested in game development, visual effects, animation, level design, and pretty much anything that interests me. So I'm kind of using this channel as a repository of my works, things I learned, and just a good place for me to document my progress. A lot of things have happened since my first video. I got a new computer because before I had a MacBook Pro and that was pretty rough. So the computer I have now, it's a lot more capable and has made learning a lot more enjoyable. So there's that. And for this particular video, I kind of wanted to talk about my most recent project. And I honestly would say this is my first quotations complete project. It's a tropical island that was built all in Unreal. I chose a tropical island because, I grew up on islands myself. I lived in Hawaii for a long time, and they always kind of have a special place in my heart. So I kind of figured it would be a good thing that would keep my interest while kind of learning the engine itself. Particular inspiration of the island was a place called the Na Pali Coast. It's located on Kauai, and if you know what I'm talking about, it's got these very beautiful, sharp, kind of like jagged cliffs that kind of like just pierce into the ocean. And I thought that's just beautiful, and I kind of wanted to replicate something like that. So the first thing I did before I even started all of this was try to get some inspiration for my project. And this included a lot of images on Pinterest and Google search of just beautiful tropical islands. Kind of consolidated a bunch of images, and then I kind of started to imagine what I wanted my island to look like. So I even drew a sketch, annotated what would go where, particular features, and an image of the sketch that I had in my island. So once I had this image down, I decided I wanted to kind of start implementing it in Unreal. And honestly, since I am starting from scratch, I did find a few good tutorials. I learned a lot of valuable things on the way. But to be honest, I find it very hard sometimes to follow along some tutorials because I find that the flow is inconsistent. There was a lot of assumed knowledge. They expect you to kind of know something. I was starting from scratch. So I stuck to tutorials very loosely, in the sense that I would find something that interested me, I'd kind of watch how they did it, and then I'd add my own twists to it. And I honestly think that was a great way to learn, and I'll probably keep doing that. So that was kind of the technical parts of learning it. Some good tutorials, random ones on YouTube, reading the documentation, and just kind of experimenting. Let's see, one particular thing that I enjoyed for this project was the sculpting of the landscape. And honestly, I spent hours sculpting it, the mountains, the valleys, the beaches. It's kind of a therapeutic process. It was fun because, you're up to your imagination. That's the limit. Your imagination's the limit. And here's kind of a progression of what I started with, and you can see right now what I ended with. So it was really fun. I also found out there's other tools to make, massive landscapes a lot easier and quicker, but I actually found using the in-house tools pretty enjoyable. Let's see, once I was satisfied with the landscape, I began to paint some material, some textures to the island, and it honestly really started to take shape once you started adding some more color and some materials to the just boring gray landscape. And while I did enjoy painting the island, I did find it pretty challenging using materials. Just finding the right textures, making it look more realistic. And I feel like out of the whole process, learning how to use materials, that's something I need to focus more on. And like a particular problem of materials is the tiling effect. If you have a big landscape and you paint a material, there's this tiling effect where it looks very distinct. So you have to get creative with that, whether that's me laying some assets like some vegetation to blend it in or something like that, little things that I picked up on. So another problem I faced was the assets. And while Unreal Engine has a lot of awesome assets that are free to download, through the Epic Game Marketplace, as well as some tool called Quixel, you got these mega scans. It didn't have all the assets that I kind of imagined in my head. They do have a bunch of free ones. I use some tropical trees like banana plants and some other random ones. I did wish there was more access to like palm trees or just more, lush tropical plants. I'll have to do some more research. I'm sure they're out there. I just didn't find any. At this particular stage in my development, I don't want to really pay for anything. There's so many stuff for free that I want to use. So I'll continue to use free resources. And overall, I'm pretty happy with how this project turned out. I was able to apply some skills and techniques that I learned from, some of these tutorials, reading online, and it was pretty excited to see everything come together in this project. On the line stuff, I'd like to build some more features into the island, maybe add like a waterfall, actually apply vegetation and foliage to the entire island, maybe add some physics or some, sounds. There's so much I can take this. I just kind of wanted to share this with the world and what it looks like at this point in time. So, that's pretty much it for this video. This is a work in progress, so if you see anything that you recommend I improve, or if you got any tips, please feel free to share. I'm learning, so let me know if I could improve on anything, or if you got any resources, please feel free to share. Open for feedback and suggestions. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.